Hello, we have the great pleasure today of welcoming Jim Okumura and Guillaume Pinot-Valenciennes. Jim, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, and then you can just right into your slides.
Thanks, Frederick. Hello, it's Jim Okumura here. I'm a partner at Macmillan Doolittle, a boutique retail consultancy based in Chicago, Illinois. I'm also a co-founder of the Global E-commerce Leaders Forum. I'm really happy to be here today, so thanks for inviting me. Let's jump right in. What I wanted to talk about is what is happening in the U.S., in a COVID retail environment. We know that the past few years have been very challenging for the retail industry, not only in the U.S., but around, the world. We've been seeing a contraction of, many famous names within, retail. Here's just a few of the companies that have been going into retail bankruptcy in the past, few years. The retail environment has been very challenging, and certainly as we see from these numbers, and if you can click to show the next part of this, we know that COVID has had a very big impact there. Similarly with consumer confidence, we have seen the confidence has been rising for many years, but you can see the steep drop that has happened in the past 1 or 2 months. The unemployment picture around the world, and the U.S. is no different, has been very startling to see. And certainly, this paints, a very challenging retail environment, going ahead, as we often see unemployment levels closely tied to retail sales. And really in past few years, we've had a steady growth within the retail industry as a whole. These are retail sales, numbers over the past handful of years. You can see, the first quarter numbers, and we're certainly expecting, the next, 2 or 3 quarters of U.S., retail sales to be down. The question is really, how difficult is it going to be? But there are, some good signs that we're starting to see here. On the left, you see the map of the U.S., and where different states are starting to reopen. Stores are opening, service industries are opening. And on the right-hand side, you see some of the biggest, retailers, and just the foot traffic on a week-by-week, basis over the past 10 weeks. And you can see again that initial surge of panic buying, followed by just a drop in traffic. And now we're starting to see again consumers starting to re-enter stores. So as different states open up, the retail stores begin to promote foot traffic. We expect to see again some gradual recovery. Other signs of what's been happening, and again, this is a global trend. Certainly, e-commerce has been where all the activity has been happening in recent weeks. As one client said to us, e-commerce is no longer the sideshow; it's the main show. And so this is a chart that we've seen recently where it really explains, the gradual increase of e-commerce penetration over the past decade. And then you see what's happened in the past 8 weeks to quickly shift, total retail sales from e-commerce to 27%. So now the question becomes, where will it go from here? And that's, really where we are discussing the future of e-commerce penetration. So what I wanted to really set up here was some trends that we're seeing in retail and strategies, that we've seen winning retailers really adopt. Extremes retailing has been a theme that we've been focused on, for several years. So this is certainly not new for us, but we are asking ourselves, we're asking our clients, what will happen, as we move forward in a post-COVID, retail world. So very quickly, I'm going to touch upon, these 3 concepts. Extreme value, certainly as it says here, it is, finding the simplicity of operations, providing, the best product at the best price. Operationally, retailers need to constantly be pursuing cost reduction and creating wow pricing, moments. Extreme convenience is often very closely tied with omni-channel related strategies. And so think of, Amazon Go, think of, any click and collect capabilities. We see new formats, stores such as, Wawa or Farmer's Fridge, providing fresh salads from vending machine. But the retail strategy that we'll talk about in a little more detail is extreme experience. So I'm going to come back to that, and let me just talk briefly around the first two retail strategies and what we think is going to happen. Overall, extreme value in very recessionary post-COVID, retail environments, we only see, more extreme value strategies to be proliferating amongst, the retailers. Certainly the big dominant, players such as Walmart and Amazon will be beneficiaries of this, the consumer's focus on value. Also, in the extreme convenience case, due to safety concerns, due to the trend of omni-channel and strategies in general, we're going to see again, more extreme convenience strategies. We've seen many retailers quickly adapt over the past 2 months. Even if they didn't have, the proper back-end infrastructure, they've been able to adapt to consumer demand and home delivery and such. So we expect both of these strategies to really benefit in a post-COVID environment. What is going to change the most, though, we think, is the extreme experience. So let's just talk about that. Extreme experience, we define, as really creating friction. Just in contrast, the extreme convenience strategies are all about removing friction in the customer experience. In extreme experience, we want to create friction. We want to have people linger. We want to, again, attract them in and want them to explore within our environments, whether that environment is a physical store, a website, a mobile device, or a catalog. And this is where, we find, smart retailers, again, are creating things like Instagrammable, moments, at key points in the experience, help, really spread the word. And really, this is a mentality change for many retailers to really focus on the customer experience, really decide, how do we create something that is going to be memorable for the consumer? These are elements, if you can click the next, bring the title up. Elements of the extreme experience that we're often, looking for. And it kind of gives you ideas of how, in what we've seen in recent years, it can be beautiful displays. It can be brand shrines, such as the Nike store in New York. It can be creating newness and freshness, in temporary spaces, or it could be in beautiful merchandising. We see, retailers such as Whole Foods or many lifestyle brands, taking on these kinds of experiential strategies. So what do we think is going to happen, in the post-COVID, environment? Certainly, we've been seeing this pent-up demand, for higher end, goods. In the past couple of weeks, we've seen what we're calling the apparel bounce. Clearly, the apparel category in general has been devastated, over the past couple of months. But in recent, weeks, we've been hearing from several brands who have said that we're starting to see some sales happening. We're obviously looking to markets such as China that have reopened, and certainly we're seeing again the luxury goods, start to move again. We see a lot of the companies clearly, deepening their connection with consumers and build, loyalty to the brand. So this is the time where targeted communications and really engaging with our community, is seen as being effective elements, of the new experience. But the last point, centering the experience around the consumer, this is what's going to change the most. We've been having several discussions around what does a good experience, mean today? What will it mean in a month or two from now? Same thing from a service standards, how will experiences and services need to be reinvented in likely for many companies? So it is, looking at solving pain points, finding, the right products to really showcase and creating a path to purchase that is as memorable as possible. How will you think about, surprising and delighting your consumer as we enter a new phase of the business recovery? Thank you very much, and I look forward to hearing from Guillaume.
Well, thank you very much, Jim. Very interesting, both qualitative and quantitative data you were able to share with us. Thank you very much. So now we turn to Guillaume Pinot-Valenciennes, who's one of the co-founders of ARGO. Hi, Guillaume.
Hello.
So go ahead and tell us more about ARGO, and then you're going to tell us about a very interesting case study with Pandora and Disney.
Yes, sure. So first of all, thank you very much, Jim, for your very interesting start. And I'm gonna talk in the next few slides on your question. What does a nice experience means today? And it's it's exactly what we're going to talk about. I'm one of the four co-founders of ARGO. What is ARGO? ARGO is a French company based in the south of France, Montpellier, in Paris, and in Montreal as well. So we are a software provider actually, and we can connect print materials, digital content, and PDFs document as well. So today, let's focus on the print materials using AR or technology AR, augmented reality. So what is the problem today? Today, some people say before, okay, print is dead, so let's focus 100% on the digital. So this is not exactly right, actually, because we can see something like 3 billion new materials printed per day in the world. So this is pretty huge, actually, and it's every day, 3 billion every day. So this is a very nice play field to add content and to focus on a new experience with new technologies like augmented reality. Before to go through, this is a short video here you can play to have to see how does it work, what is exactly augmented reality on print. So basically, you have your smartphone on your hand, and you can scan, print material and add some content on it. So the good thing of our technology is to change the content exactly when you want with our platform, web platform. So you can change the content. Print is very, you can change the print normally. So this is very interesting to analyze statistics and change the content as well. What is the market size? So the market size is pretty big, it's huge actually. So it's very interesting to use this market size to focus on the return on investment of our clients. So what kind of print materials are we talking about? So we're talking about, for example, catalogs, packagings, different kind of direct marketing. Direct market like flyers, etc. So we can connect everything and add some content to go through, for example, e-commerce web pages and add some content of the product.
And just to be clear, Guillaume, what you're saying is ARGO allows the connection of existing content as well, primarily. So there's no additional content needed. It's basically a new way to direct your consumers instantly from print to another experience.
Yes, absolutely. And so yes, you can connect your existing print materials and add content as your e-commerce web pages or video. You already invest in that kind of content, so you're gonna optimize your previous investment to push your 2D content on an offline material as a packaging or catalog, for example. So it's very easy to use. So can you go through the next slide? Yeah, thank you. So what about the market validation? So here we can see billions and billions PDFs opened every year, or US later sheets printing every day. PDFs stored on Dropbox, for example. So what is very important here to analyze, if you can go to the next slide, please, it's to analyze actually the return on investment. How I have to invest, how much I have to invest on my catalogs, for example. What kind of a conversion rate I can get with my catalog. So all that kind of figures you can get that with our technology. So we're going to use billions devices as smartphones, for example, or tablets already spread on the market. So there is no need to buy something else. Your consumer already has the right device.
What you're saying, Guillaume, is that ARGO allows the injection, so to speak, of web analytics into print.
Yes, exactly. We already have more than 400 clients, so most of them are international brands. So I can mention here Wells Fargo as a client, but also we're taking part of the Wells Fargo accelerator. It's very interesting, of course, for us to understand better the US market and go through the North of America market. Here, we're talking about augmented reality focusing on retail. But what are the two main drivers using augmented reality? There is two of them. This is drive to web, how to generate more traffic, web traffic on my website, on my e-commerce web pages. So I can scan a catalog, click on a product, and go through instantly to my e-commerce web pages to buy the product. So it's really scan to buy. So this is very interesting. All of our clients already use, of course, Google AdWords, and this is very good and very relevant. But it's always good as well to have other solution to complete your preview strategy, digital strategy. So we can help to doing this very well. So our clients in this way have a very nice conversion rate. It's multiplied by 3 compared to the web e-commerce, classic web e-commerce. There is a second driver, it's drive to store, how to generate new traffic, human traffic in my stores. So as Pokemon Go already did before, as a big game in the world actually, and generate huge engagement with a target. So go to my store, scan different things, visual in my store, and try to get vouchers and try to win travel, something like this. So you're going to generate a new motivation to go in the store.
So you're going to tell us today about a specific drive to store initiative that ARGO was a part of with two big brands, Disney and Pandora.
Yes, right. So this is exactly what we did to talk just about Pandora co-branded with Disney in 3 different European countries as France, Italy, and Spain. For Pandora, the main goal was to generate human traffic in their shops, and for Disney, it was to celebrate the 90th anniversary of Mickey's. So we developed a treasure hunt for them actually. The consumer went to a Pandora store and asked to scan different visual spread in the store, and all visual displayed a video like Mickey in the 13th, in the 17th, etc. And the right visual to find was displayed Mickey today, and with an instant win to win a charm you can adapt to a Pandora bracelet. So the charm was Mickey. They had 90 charms to win by country. So we have 90 for France, 90 for Italy, 90 for Spain. And it was they had a very interesting result. And to be clear, they reduced by 5 actually the cost of acquisition of a new customer in the shop. So they were very happy about that, and it was the opportunity for them to show that they were using a new technology, but in a relevant way, actually. So, well, it was very interesting as a use case in the retail area.
Thank you, Guillaume. I think it's a very interesting case study, as you said, of using relevant everyday technology, the smartphone that everybody has in their pocket. And the way I like to characterize it, basically the smartphone is your remote control for your life. So it's a very good way to use it as you described. Let me turn it back to Jim with a first question on this post-COVID, post-lockdown period that we're going through. Jim, what do you see beyond what you already shared with us as sort of market feedback, qualitative market feedback that you've been getting in these past few days and weeks?
Well, I think, the common theme certainly has been uncertainty. None of us, really know how the consumers are going to react as we reopen, the retail world. But we do know that, it's not going to be the same, right? Just think of for example, how important contactless payments are going to become now. Right. I mean, that's been a very, hot topic lately. We're currently working on sustainability strategies in retail. And so we're wondering, is that trend also going to accelerate? But I think, one of the big questions, for us going forward really is, back to the e-commerce penetration numbers that I showed, previously. What do we expect to see, as stores reopen? Will consumer behaviors, have they permanently changed? Or, was that a temporary kind of shift, to digital retail channels, and they'll start buying again, from stores? we tend to think that, we'll see again a slight drop off, in the e-commerce penetration as stores reopen, but then the gradual growth will continue. So we expect that the changes that have taken place are somewhat permanent, but really we're not sure what's going to happen over the next few months.
And I've heard, in complement to what you were saying, that in essence what we've been seeing with this veritable hockey stick, since we're both Canadians, we can say that it is a real hockey stick for once, graph in terms of acceleration. We saw an acceleration of these trends, these macro trends, in a matter of weeks that were supposed to take years. So that's really interesting. Turning it back to Guillaume. Guillaume, what are you hearing from the market in terms of prospects and clients?
Yes, actually, we have in retails many opportunities for the post-COVID. Actually, people are coming back slowly, of course, but certainly outside, and shops, restaurants, different where you can go outside, different place you can go outside. It has to organize the good way to welcome their customer. So they have to be safe for the customer, and we have few demands from our clients or prospects. How to connect stickers you can find on the floor, for example. How to connect different posters, different visual in a shop to add some information, to be careful with the COVID, and to be welcome as well. To be warm with the clients. You have to respect the distance, but you have to keep the warmth between the clients and you. So you can push videos for welcoming. You can add any content you want. For example, you have to wait because it's slower than before to be served. So you can wait with a playlist. So you scan a sticker on the floor of the shop you are, and then you're gonna have a playlist played, for example, or video, or many things are, and of course today with the crisis, you have to focus on sales before branding. So if you can scan, click, and buy, it's very easy to use, and you can warm the approach as well with different kind of content.
So what you're saying is, in essence, what Argo can bring is this human touch, this human element that we're craving, all of us, and that we're kind of missing in this contactless world. As a parting question to both of you, because I always like to ask real world examples, when is the last time, Jim, when is the last time, Guillaume, that you paid for something in cash?
Long time ago.
It has been a long time. Certainly it's something that, is probably going away permanently.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank both of you again for sharing very interesting market data and macro trends, as well as a very interesting product. Thanks to both of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.